Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Fallen London. Today we're going to be having a look at May's exceptional story, The Queen of Elephants. But as always, at the start of a new exceptional story, I will tell you there are spoilers ahead. If you want to help support Failbetter and play these for yourself, get the exceptional friendship, get a bigger actions candle, and a bigger deck, and various outfit slots and things like that. Also, if you enjoy this kind of thing, why not like and subscribe? You know, it helps me out, helps the channel grow. But without further ado, let's drop in here. Rumours of thievery and excess. It's not in the newspapers or in the gossip at the salons. It's the last thing to come up in conversation in polite company. But in impolite company, it's the talk of the town. Urchins, criminals, and other gutter-lurkers all have one name on their lips. The streets are abuzz with talk of the 40 elephants. They're thieves, and they're experiencing meteoric success. They're throwing around money like cheap confetti. That's all anyone can agree on. The rumours around them have grown self-contradictory and confusing. How should you find out more? So we can either contact the implaceable detective if anyone was to know more. We could wear out our shoe leather. Someone in this city must know more. You just need to keep asking until you strike gold. Or we could speak to a chap who's usually in the know. But we don't have a chap on the corner. Let's contact the implaceable detective. The implaceable detective fixes you with a stern gaze as she lifts her teacup to her lips. I don't know much more than you, she admits. They're an all-female gang operating in and around Vale Garden, and they have a truly terrible name in my opinion. Elephants are hardly the stealthiest of creatures. And who are they stealing from? That's the thing, she says. Everyone agrees they're making money, but no one's come forward to complain about any actual robberies. Why do you think I haven't investigated? There are no victims. You wouldn't even know they're thieves if they didn't boast about it at every opportunity. Are they counterfeiters? Your interest has been piqued by the 40 elephants and their unexplained success in the world of thievery. But why? So we have professional courtesy. How do they pull it off? Where is this money coming from? We can eye up the competition. Who cares how they're doing it? Soon they could be intruding on your territory. You want to bring them to justice? It sounds like the kind of crime that the constables, bless them, couldn't hope to solve. We want to join up, getting the reward without having to do any of the difficult stealing bit? Sounds like a cushy gig. Or you know you'll get involved in this sort of thing eventually. It's getting to be a bit of a habit. I think I'm going to carry on with my character's strong connection with the constables. I think we want to bring them to justice. This is the steadfast choice. The constables can't even begin to get a handle on London's normal thieves. If the 40 elephants are getting up to something out of the ordinary, the constables don't have an infantry regiment's chance in hell of catching them. They're going to need your help. Better do some further digging in that case. Where's the money coming from? A wise fellow once said that to find the truth you must first eliminate the impossible. Seems like a good model to work from as any. We get to investigate the various people here. This is how connected I am to the villainous world of Fallen London. I have no contacts in the underworld. Okay, well let's start with investigating the upper crust. Are the elephants stealing from the cream of society? You spend a day camped in a post office, stealing the letters addressed to the fanciest of mansions and poring through contents. But you can find no mention of any recent thefts or associated cover-ups. Oh well, scratch that one off. Let's speak to the clergy. Are the 40 elephants stealing from God himself? Or at least his representatives underneath? You chat to a choir boy, a nun, 2 vicars, and the Bishop of Fiacres himself. All of them seem baffled by your questioning. No one's been stealing from the church. Not in any great quantities, anyway. Urchins treat the collection plate like a buffet, but other than that... what about the devils? No, surely not. They wouldn't dare. Could the 40 elephants be stealing from hell? If the devils were being outwitted, they'd never admit it. Not unless they had something to gain. Fortunately, you've got something they might be interested in. In return for some souls, you arrange a meeting in a brass embassy with a devil of your acquaintance who smirks at the idea they're being stolen from. I can assure you, he purrs, his eyes flashing, if these thieves were stealing from us, we'd have done things to them that would have hanging, drawing, and quartering look like a children's birthday party. You believe him. Yes, I believe him. Devils don't mess around. Well, we're left with one option, to track down the thieves and ask them outright. Just as you reach your wit's end, you receive word that the 40 elephants have been spotted holding a party in the Singing Mandrake. The 40 elephants were nowhere to be found. Now, all of a sudden, it seems that everyone, at least in London's lower circles, know that they're back in town, and they're holding a party. Where were they before? Another mystery to add to the collection. In the meantime, you hurry over to Vale Garden. Are they stealing from the parabola or something? This is going to be one of the weird ones, isn't it? Long before you reach the Singing Mandrake, you hear a raucous mixture of laughter, uproarious, and song out of tune. The pub itself appears to have been completely taken over. Revelers spill out into the surrounding street. Someone's tap dancing on the roof. A crouched monkey, a rhinestone collar around its neck, is throwing bottles at someone playing an accordion. It's chaos, but everyone seems to be enjoying themselves. At the centre of the party is a tight knot of striking young women, dressed in the height of finery and fashion, diamonds sparkling on their fingers. So we can either ingratiate yourself with the elephants, a confident enough smile can part crowds faster than waving a knife, or we'll disrupt the party, stand on top of the piano and call for everyone to shut up and listen. Let's ingratiate ourselves. You approach the gaggle of well-dressed women, dropping sharp little jokes like caltrops. As though it's the most natural thing in the world, you step into the fold. Oh, I like the looks of you, oozes a voice that drips confidence enough to match your smile. You find yourself standing face to face with a woman almost half a head taller than anyone else in the pub. She has cracked white makeup covering her face, eyeshadow as scarlet as blood in the snow, and a bundle of red hair piled high on her head. Here, she says, slipping a diamond ring off her finger and handing it to you. You can have this if you like. I have plenty. Now tell me, who might you be, and why did you crash my party? I feel as though I'm going to like this character. She stands there, her gaze fixed upon you like a cobra, assessing a passing rodent. The rest of the pub is silent, waiting for your response. So we can either introduce ourselves as a newcomer to London, recently out of New Newgate. You can be trusted to be discreet in matters of the law. We can introduce ourselves as a fellow thief. Her methods are unlike anything you've seen before. She's got your attention, and she could likely benefit from your advice. Or I can introduce myself as the poet laureate. and you're hoping to pen an ode to the Queen of Thieves herself. I have been waiting for an opportunity to use this for years. We're going to pick the poet option here. An admirer, declares the white-faced woman, a note of genuine pleasure in her voice for the first time. You know, I was just wondering why nobody had written a poem about me yet. She waves a hand at the surrounding crowd. Where's the music? Where's the dancing? Show my friend here how the elephants have fun. A wave of palpable relief passes through the pub. The accordion starts up again. The monkey swings from the rafters, hooting in triumph. They call me Queen Mary, by the way, says the thief, extending her hand to be kissed. I've told them not to, but you know it's how it is when people worship you. They find ways to show it. So we've managed to ingratiate ourselves. She thinks we're a poet, and she likes me more and more. This is going swimmingly. Let's continue. Amongst the elephants, Queen Mary has been surrounded by a gaggle of her followers, all clamouring for the honour of buying her a drink. The party is in full swing once again. You've been introduced to the Queen of Elephants, but now you need to worm your way into her confidences. She won't tell you the secret of her scam if she doesn't trust you. You can buy everyone large amounts of wine. This usually works. Or we can work our magic. The only gift you need is the gift of the gab. We're totally going to give to the gab. As the party continues, you find yourself, coincidentally, bumping into the Queen Mary again and again. You find that she responds well to outrageous flattery and drop continuous hints that you'd love to know more about how she does what she does. And so, once things are wrapping up and the accordion's player's lost consciousness and the dancer on the roof has fallen off and the monkey has gone wherever monkeys go, Queen Mary comes to find you. She offers you a smile like a poisoned rose. Come on, she says. We'll take you back to our hideout, but we'll need to blindfold you first. Can't have you finding us again, can we? Ooh, so she's escorting us to her hideout. She's starting to enjoy your company a great deal. A blindfold is placed over your eyes. One of the elephants guides you by the elbow out into the maze of London's streets. A left, a right, downhill, left, uphill, right. Soon enough, you've lost your bearings. Finally, you come to a halt. You hear a knock at the door and a voice asking, "Password." "Open sesame," says Queen Mary. The door creaks open and you're pushed inside. That might be the worst password. When the blindfold is whipped from your face, you find yourself in a large, dusty warehouse. Its walls decorated with dozens of mirrors. Honey jars are stacked against one wall. Let's ask about this strange equipment. Glass and honey aren't the favoured tools of most thieves, though there are other professions that come to mind. There is a land beyond the mirror glass, says Queen Mary. A land of dreams. That is where we steal from. Oh my god, they are stealing from the parabola. This cannot end well. The mirrors in Queen Mary's hideout have clearly been stolen from a variety of places. Some in cheap wooden frames were nicked from a bathroom somewhere. Some, ostentatiously ornate, might have been taken from ballrooms. She looks you up and down imperilously, as though daring you to ask too many questions. Behind her, her lackeys smirk and whisper in each other's ears. So we can ask how they managed to steal from the parabola. How is it possible to take a dream and bring it back to the real world? We can ask who they're stealing from. Even dreams belong to somebody. Or if I had a set of Cosmogon spectacles and worked with glass, I could cast a professional glance over their equipment, but I am not. So, let's ask how they managed to steal from the parabola. Queen Mary offers you another barbed smile. It's a secret, she says, but the treasure we return with ain't exactly legal tender. The coins are forgeries of currencies that never existed in the first place, and if you flip them, they land on their edge. The jewels are sparkly enough, but under a bright light they turn wobbly, like jelly. And we gotta spend it mighty quick, offers up one of the elephants, because it vanishes after a day or two. Queen Mary shrugs. We don't buy things from the same vendor twice, or else they'd catch on, she says. And it helps if we get them drunk, so they don't notice how odd the coins are. So, who are you stealing these things from? We steal gold hoards from the greedy dreams of wealthy old misers, says Queen Mary, smiling around at her gang of thieves. It's a harmless crime. The old misers get to keep their riches in the real world after all. They just need to find something else to dream about. I would love to go on a dream heist. Maybe you're curious or looking for evidence that'll convict them, or maybe you're just interested in a cut of the profits. Queen Mary considers you for a moment, then claps you on the shoulder. Well, why not, indeed. You've been quite amusing so far. My only condition is that you pay your own way. I don't want to waste my money on you. We can accompany Queen Mary on a parabolan heist. Oh my. Are you ready to go? Asks Queen Mary, not hiding the boredom in her voice. The 40 elephants are gathering in preparation for the heist. I've counted them. There are only 35. There's a nervous energy in the air. Perhaps the thieves are just nursing hangovers. Or perhaps this expedition to Parabola is far riskier than the Queen Mary has made it sound. Well, let's follow the Queen of Elephants into the Parabola. She has made it quite clear that you need to pay your own passage. So it's going to use 10 drops of prisoner's honey and a memory of light. Luckily I have these things. One by one, the elephants drink the honey, approach the mirrors, and cross over to the other side. Queen Mary remains behind to make sure you don't do any snooping around their hideout. Go on, she says. I'm right behind you. The honey is so sweet, it burns your tongue. As you approach the mirror, the world shivers and shatters. You find yourself falling into freezing, endless depths. For a fraction of a second that lasts half a lifetime. On the other side, you find yourself in the throne room of a medieval castle. Blood-red banners drape the walls. Abandoned pieces of rusted armor litter the richly carpeted floor. Somehow, Queen Mary has beaten you here. She is sitting atop her throne, looking smug. Her gang are knelt around her, murmuring to each other. Let's ask Queen Mary about this castle. It's a massive structure and remarkably solid, unlike most of the fanciful half-conceived buildings one might expect to see in the Parabola. Oh, this little thing. I built it myself, says Queen Mary. Somehow she seems more authentic on this side of the mirror. Her voice carries like a struck gong. It doesn't go away because I wake up, she adds. Its foundations are far too sturdy for that. You see, I've been dreaming of this place since I was just a girl. A recurring dream, night after night, stone by stone. It finally became a fixture. When you ask about her dreams of this place, she goes quiet. I dream I'm running down these endless stone corridors, chased by something terrible, she says. Chased by the worst thing in the world. But luckily for me, if there is such a thing, it hasn't appeared yet. Peering out one of the arrow-slit windows, you can see a vast canopy of luscious jungle stretching out all around you. The air is ripe with the chirping of insects and birds. "First of all," says Queen Mary, "we must go and meet our guide, who knows Parabola better than anyone. Except the cats. And we don't do deals with cats." "Well, let's set out into the jungle." "Let's go," says Queen Mary, standing from her throne with a theatrical flourish of her floor-length gown. No sense wasting time. The drawbridge falls with an earth-shuddering thump. You cross over a moat of shimmering mercury and into the rustling jungle. After an hour's trek, you reach a clearing. Queen Mary raises her hand to her lips. Come out, little one," she calls. "We need your guidance once again." A finger king? Oh no, a mouse! Amazing! A querulous mouse. A rustle in the undergrowth. Something tiny and pale skitters out into view. A mouse, small and delicate as a strawberry leaf. As its gaze falls on you, its pink nose starts twitching in distress. "Oh, milady, you promised not to bring any more strangers with you on these incursions." Queen Mary waves her hand airily. "I promised to try not to. Evidently, I failed, didn't I?" Oh my god, we can offer the mouse a humbug. "They're fierce but good. Let's go." You crouch down, offering out a single mint humbug. The mouse's small nose twitches. It scampers forward, snuffles over to the sweet for a moment, and then snatches it from your grasp and scampers back again. For the next few minutes, the clearing is filled with the sound of contented crunching. Finally, the mouse looks up, hopefully. "Thank you. That was nice. You have any more?" "You can have more when you've done your duty," says Queen Mary sternly. "Now tell me, mouse, can you take us to the dream of riches?" The mouse nods. "Follow me." It skitters ahead through the undergrowth, occasionally pausing to sniff the air. You follow, accompanied by Queen Mary and her gang. Most of the thieves are jumping at shadows, but Queen Mary seems to be in her element. She strides ahead with a fierce grin on her pale face. Queen Mary's starting to enjoy our company a great deal. I'm sure this won't go horribly wrong. After an hour's trek, the mouse stops. It peers back and forth, muttering incoherently. When it turns back to face you, its eyes are bright with tears. "I'm lost," it says. "Sorry. Really, really sorry. I must have gone the wrong way a few miles back." "You'll find your bearings, little mouse," says Queen Mary confidently. "Or else, when I'm back in the waking world, I'll feed you to the alley cats." Wow. Brutal. So we have a few options here. We can draw on our experiences at the Parabola base camp. Your adventures in Parabola have taught you a thing or two about the place. We could work out your route by the angle of the Parabolan sun. The sun works differently here, so do angles, but maybe you'll get lucky. We could scout in the shadows. You'll slip ahead and report back on the surrounding landmarks, or we could ask for directions. The creatures of Parabola are rarely friendly, but it's amazing what you can do with a charming enough smile. Let's just use our experiences in the Parabola base camp. You spent a lot of time in Parabola by now. There's no consistent rules, but there are certainly some guidelines. And while you can't exactly rely on a map, better than nothing, you pull out one of your homemade Parabola maps from your pack, and with the mouse peering from your shoulder, analyze it carefully. "I think I can see where we went wrong," says the mouse, finally. "Let's retrace our steps." One weary foot follows the other. Branches claw and scratch at your face. Overhead, the cosmogon sun beats down. You're pretty sure you've passed the same tree twice now. Perhaps you're going in circles, or perhaps the tree is following you. In Parabola, either is possible. The mouse is scampering back and forth, gnawing on its own tail, apparently as lost as ever. Queen Mary seems to think she's motivating it by making the occasional casual threat, but all she's doing is further inflaming its panic. Well, I think it's time for us to work out the route by the angle of the parabolan sun. With some effort, you're able to work out where you were then, when the mouse was on the right track, compared to where you are now, hopelessly lost. You've drifted a few degrees off course. Not much, but over the miles it adds up. When you tell the mouse, it squeaks in approval. That makes sense, it says. Maybe I can work out the right way now. One weary foot follows the other. 3 times now you've passed the tree. You could have sworn you heard it snicker. The mouse is regaining some confidence. The air smells more familiar here, he says. I think we're on the right track. I've got to ask for directions. Ask for directions? Squeaks the mouse. Terrible idea, very bad, you'll be torn apart. You resolve to ignore the mouse's words of caution and instead bide your time. Soon enough, a tiger lopes past, its stripes hypnotic amid the shade of the trees. While the mouse, Queen Mary and the elephants all hide behind a rock, you approach it, bow deeply and politely ask for directions. How delightful to meet a being with some manners, drawls the tiger. Why, of course, it will be a pleasure to help, and besides, I just ate. What you need to do is head the way until you come across the tree with the scorch mark. Yes, haha! See that scorch mark on the tree? I know where we are, declares the querulous mouse, doing a small dance in excitement. Follow me! About time, you stupid creature, says Queen Mary. Lead on. The mouse scampers off and you follow, crashing through a tangle of thorny vines. Emerging on the other side, you find yourself staring up at an enormous mansion with imposing hedges, austere shuttered windows, and an impeccably manicured front lawn. And I think this is a perfect place to end the first episode. So thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Let me know what you think. Your comments are greatly appreciated. And as always, I'll see you next time.